What up, though? It's your girl, Tamara Dawn, and welcome to Tamara Till the Break of Dawn. Now, first things first, I want to thank y'all for hopping on my train of thought today, because you literally could be doing anything else right now, so I appreciate you tuning in. And before I get too far off into this intro, I definitely want to give a special shout out to my podcast fam. So make sure y'all actually check out them podcast suggestions in the episode note. Last but not least, want to give a special shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes as well. So, now that we got all that out the way, let's get it. What up, y'all? It's season 2, y'all. First of all, y'all don't even understand that I'm just super proud of myself that I made it to season 2, that I have been consistent with this. So, that's what's up. And I actually had a whole different episode that was already recorded for today, but I think because I have so much time on my hands, because, the Rona or whatever, I just decided that I need to I wanted to record something new, forget what I had, new things, new whatever. I feel like I'm brand new out here, okay? And though I am going to get it popping with all the things that are getting on my nerves right now, because I want to get all the negative out. Don't worry, it's going to end on a positive note. It's not going to just be a whole rant or whatever. But let's start with the number one thing that is irritating me right now is the lack of toilet paper. Now, here's the thing with this. Now, before this all began, which, side note, it's so funny that I'm even talking about this, because usually I don't try to talk about current event stuff that's going on, because I feel like, I don't know, people might not know what I'm talking about or why, later on in life, and I kind of want it to be something that's relevant always. But we ain't never gonna forget the Rona. We ain't never been through this, nothing in my lifetime. So I feel like that's what I'm on right now. It just feels fake to talk about something else or have another episode air that's old when I'm on some other stuff right now, because life is a mess. So the number one thing that is irritating me right now is the lack of toilet paper. And here's the thing. When this all began, I had literally just bought a big thing of toilet paper. I always buy, the store that I go to has, so it'd be Baker's or Kroger, depending on what part of the country you live in. But it's this 30 for 60, or 30 equals 60. So there's 30 rolls of toilet paper. But it equals 60 rolls really, because it's double or whatever. That lasts us a while. Usually I buy that, I'm cool, and I had literally just bought that the Monday of. But here are some of the problems therein. One, my kids have been out of school, and I have 2 girls, so and 2, so what I try to do is okay, people tripping, but they got their little toilet paper or whatever. So I'm going to try to come back through, just kind of scan the stores here and there and see. And every time I go in the stores, I don't care when it is, I don't care what store it is, there is never toilet paper. And that is so freaking annoying, because it's not like I'm last minute. I had just bought a whole big old thing, and ever since I had bought that whole big old thing, I've been looking and scanning, casually or whatever at first. Then it was okay, we're gonna run out soon, so hopefully I find some. And then it was, oh my gosh, we're gonna run out tomorrow, and still couldn't find none, and it's super sad, but thank God that somebody gave us a couple packs, because I have posted on Facebook hey, where can I find some toilet paper? But why is that a thing? Why is that life that for a month I've been it's just okay, so that's number one. This isn't really in order. This is just the bullet points that I put or whatever, so I didn't forget. Baby, come give me something. No, I am, oh my God, Excuse me. I don't usually try to say, oh my God, oh my gosh. That song is so, I'm tired of it. Like, the first time I saw the little challenge or whatever on TikTok, if you don't know what I'm talking about, elbow, shimmy, clap, whatever. No, I'm over it. I'm tired of it. Everybody and their mama done did it. Do a new challenge. Like, try to do something different. Stand out from the crowd. I know at the same time you want to ride the wave of what's going on, but that song, and I don't even know if I ever heard that song before the TikTok challenge, but like even just earlier today, my daughter, I don't know if she's watching the challenge or what was happening, but as soon as I heard that song, like, ew, I just, ugh. So that's on my nerves. And then the next thing. So on my block, season 3. I watched it recently or whatever. It's a Netflix show if you don't know what I'm talking about. And so here's the thing and my irritation with this entire 3rd season, which I hope it's the last season, but the way it ended was so stupid. First of all, the season seemed forced, and it really didn't make sense as to what was going on or why this, spoiler like a mug if you ain't seen it, whatever. It really made no sense how this woman just came out of nowhere, kidnapped them, you gonna do this or I'm gonna kill you or whatever. These kids is like in the 10th grade going through the absolute most, you know what I mean? Like, I know some people have rough upbringings and they might be ducking and dodging bullets or whatever, or bullies or gun violence or gangs or whatever, but like, it was just, I don't know. The 3rd season was trash. The way it ended was stupid. Like, how you gonna go from I love you, I'll never forget you to, which I guess maybe that does happen in high school, out of sight, out of mind, but I feel like, I don't know. So Monse went off to some little bougie school or whatever. Then the whole crew fell apart except Ruby and Jasmine stayed together. I don't know what type of dressing they was on 2 years from now. Jamal and Ruby making eye contact like they didn't grow up their whole lives together and get the Roller World money and whatnot. And then Caesar is gangbanging in Little Rock. Maybe not Little Rock, but gangbanging out here. Cut all his hair off. The head of whatever I can't even remember what the name of the gang is. And all of that is annoying in and of itself. But nothing out of all of that can top how much of a disappointment that Spooky was. Spooky was the biggest catfish ever. How you go from gangbanging Vatos Locos to, and I'm not saying don't change your life. I'm not saying be a gang member all your life, but I'm saying who he was presented as, how he was looking, even how he was sounding. That ain't how he look or sound in real life, and I just feel like I was led astray, bamboozled. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Like, no, that, I don't know. I mean, you don't even sound the same. Like, what? So, yeah, that, besides the other Rona stuff, just being stuck in the house and, I mean, even though technically I do go to work every day and I do that to have a sense of normalcy, but that's literally the only thing I do. And even that's not normal because a lot of people are working from home. We have all these video conference calls all day, which it's good for keeping us connected, but it's like, it's not the same as having my people there. And it's not like I really talk to them like that, or it's just different. So all that's going on, but those are the things that kind of above and beyond the Rona just have really irritated me. And then I've noticed that I've been exposing my dark side more on social media. Like, if you know me and you talk to me, I guess I'll just say in real life, like if you know me, know me, and I text you or I met you or I talked to you in real life, you know I got a wild sense of humor. And there are very few people that actually really get the fullness thereof of who I am as a person when it comes to my sense of humor, because I just be thinking all kinds of stuff is funny. But I've been exposing some of that on Facebook, and, I had to tell my mom, hey, man, you're going to have to let me be great on this app right now during this pandemic, because I'm just putting all kinds of stuff. And then, she kind of comment with her motherly whatever, and it's like, nah, Mom, let me be great. I don't want to have to block you. Love you, Mom. I really wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't want to have to do that. So just let me clown, cut up, because I could be doing way worse stuff, trying to survive out here. I ain't been letting Rona ruin my diet. Your girl's down 20 pounds, and I've stuck to my diet, stuck to my working out and all that. I'm not out here drinking I don't drink at all, actually. I ain't out here doing nothing but go to work and come home. So the most that I do is I be cutting up more on social media than I normally do. And Facebook is starting to get Twitter me, because Twitter me is a little bit more different than Facebook me, because Facebook me is, my mama, my kids and whatnot, and I don't know. And it's not like I'm just a whole completely different person, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying my sense of humor is super wild. And the Rona been, having me expose who I am as a person on the inside, and I don't even normally be doing that. But let's go ahead and take a quick break real quick, and then I'm going to switch to some more positive stuff. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, I highly suggest you use Anchor. And here's why. Now, first things first, it's free. And you can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I'm talking dollar bills, y'all. Plus, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to the major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of others. So that's one less thing you got to worry about. And they got all the tools you need to record and edit your podcast in one spot. And you can do all that from your phone or your computer. So, in my opinion, it's really the easiest way to make a podcast. Now, if that's what you're looking for and you're ready to jump on it, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, so now that I got all my ranting out the way for the most part, let's talk about the things I'm super grateful for, because amidst all of this, I am super grateful to have stable and secure employment, because I know that a lot of people do not, and I do have a lot going on right now. Excuse me, dry throat, not the Rona. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and drink some water real quick, because I don't want y'all thinking I got the Rona out here. I am not sick. But, we're in the process of moving or whatever, so it's kind of like it's very chaotic. It's a crazy time to be trying to move and whatever. My daughter, her graduation is going to be a virtual graduation. I don't even know what that means. And then they done pushed the formal graduation back to July. So it's like there's a lot going on, but at the same time, I don't have to worry about how am I going to pay my bills. So I am super grateful for that. And then I had told y'all, at some point I mentioned on social media that I got a promotion. So I figured this was a good point to kind of tell y'all that story, because it's actually a really dope, hopefully super encouraging story to someone, because, well, let's just talk about how it went. So I've been at my job not even a year and a half, so that's kind of cool. But then the funny thing is, so day one, came to work or whatever, and day two, I was like super sick, like couldn't even move, couldn't even get out of bed, like it was terrible. And like, I know you should not be missing your second day of work, but like I literally cannot move, and I just kind of, I'm a person who has a relationship with the Lord, so I just kind of prayed, like, God, please don't let me get fired, you know what I mean? But I could not move, and I'm the kind of person that if I'm sick, I'm gonna still go to work regardless, And, well, I wouldn't right now if I got sick just because all that's going on. But I'll push myself unless I physically cannot get out of bed. So I physically cannot get out of bed. I could not move. So I called in, and then I was at least feeling to the point the next day where the body aches and whatever was over. So I went to work. And so I get there, and my supervisor and the program manager call me in the office, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Just all of a sudden I knew it was not right or whatever. And they're like, where were you yesterday? And I'm like, I was sick. And I was like, I know you shouldn't miss the second day, but I literally cannot move. Matter of fact, I think I had a doctor's note too. And he was like, well, we didn't know where you were. And I'm like, what? So they thought I had no call, no show. And I was like, nope. Pulled my cell phone out, showed them the phone records of me calling. And he was like, okay, well, we'll have to look into or whatever. Let's make sure you got the right number for her. Whoop-de-woo. I didn't get fired. And then we figured out I called the wrong number, like, in the building. So eventually the message got to her. Thank God I didn't get fired, though. So that's kind of a funny story that we'll joke about from time to time, because I literally almost got fired on my second day of work because they thought I no call no showed, which I would never. But fast forward to, I don't know, we'll say June, something, I don't know. So previously I was a service coordinator, and that was the person who works directly with the job seekers and the people that we serve, and hold them accountable to their service plan or whatever. Now, the position that I have now is quality and training coordinator. So what I do is I train staff, train service coordinators in different things, and then also kind of like quality assurance of the cases, making sure things are accurate, and reporting to the state and all that good stuff. So that's stuff that I've been passionate about, and I kind of found that out in other jobs, which made me super interested in getting into this type of work. Still doing something that has meaning, because the type of work that we do, because we work with the welfare population and trying to help them get self-sufficient. So it's still something that's like important to me, which is important for me to have work that I feel like means something. Not to say, you know what I mean, every job is important, but what I'm just saying is something that's like I'm passionate about. I guess that's a better way to say it. So that's super important to me. But like I wanted to get into like more of the staff development and training and just accuracy or whatever. And so I applied for the QA position or whatever. And so interviewed well. They had me do a project. I didn't get it. So it's like, okay, the people who got it, they have been there longer, because I hadn't even been there a year yet. So, it made sense to me. Boom, pops up again. Interview, well, do a project, didn't get it. And it was 2 positions available, but the 2 people who, 2 people got it or whatever. So that's twice that I applied, but there was 2 positions available, and I didn't get neither one of them. So then it used to be a statewide position, or it is a statewide position, but those times it was like the state could apply. Well, this next time they opened it up, and it was more so in the location that I work in, like anybody could apply, but you would have to work out of the office that I work out of. So I'm like, okay, cool, this is my time, I'm about to get it. Like, interviewed well, did a project, and I still didn't get it. And I remember that time I was like super butt hurt. And so the hope and disappointment episode, I feel like that was like episode 2. I recorded that right after I found out that I didn't get the promotion. You know what I mean? And like, I really felt like I was going to get it. And I remember in that episode, I said that, sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's a closed door is like it's closed because you're not supposed to have it, or whether it's closed because it's just not open yet. And there's no cookie cutter formula. as to whether you really gonna know what it is or whatever. It could be one, it could be the other, and next time and blah blah blah. So I remember saying though that I would be interested to see what that would be. So then what I ended up doing after that is I started kind of training for my role. And so I got with my now supervisor and I was like, can we come up with a training plan so that I can learn the role and then learn what it is, have at least some knowledge of, oh, hey, at least I have an idea of what I'm doing, and then I can kind of like sell myself better to say, hey, this is what I've done specifically that y'all are looking for. And so I trained for like a little, like not quite 2 months, and just learning, thinking, okay, whenever this comes back around, because eventually it'll come back around, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be marketable and I'm going to have these skills. And it was crazy because it was like I was working 2 jobs for a little while. So I had to like become detached kind of from my work homies or whatever. And I had to tell them like, hey, I'm trying to get this promotion, so I'm not going to really be talking to y'all like that or whatever. And I would just be headphones on, either working my cases, because, you know, I had to stay on top of my caseload, or trying to do this other stuff. And then it came back around and I interviewed, and what's super dope is this time I didn't have to do a project because they had already saw me. They knew I already was doing stuff within the role. And then I got the promotion. So my encouragement to you with that is, sometimes you don't, like, sometimes a closed door is not closed permanently. Sometimes it's just not open yet. And you just got to kind of discern whether or not, you know, you feel like that's really for you, and, you know, do what you got to do. And then sometimes you got to know when you need to let go. Because there's been other situations where I thought I was going to get something, really wanted it, didn't get it. And then I realized, you know what, that's not something that's for me. And then, to be honest, the way things are going with jobs and stuff now, it's like, I'm glad that situation didn't work out, because I just kind of see as I see from a distance how things are kind of going in that place of employment. That was not, you know, what I needed to be doing or whatever. Not like it's not nothing bad or whatever, but, you know, I don't know where they're at with job security right now, because a lot of people are, you know, whatever. So I know, though, where I'm at, I have job security. They specifically told us that. So that's something that I'm super grateful for. What I've learned, though, and I've kind of talked about this before, where, like, sometimes when you elevate, and sometimes when you just, you know, sometimes you have those people that they rock with you when you struggling, and they want to be in the gutter with you and whoop-de-woo, and that's cool. You know, it's good to have people to support you when you're struggling. But what I've kind of learned over the years is that sometimes when you come up out the gutter and when you start elevating and promoting and progressing in life, them same people might not be the same people that you rock with when you get where you're going. And it's not because you're leaving them behind on purpose, but it's just kind of like, sometimes people can't see you outside of the box of who you were, and they keep you in that box. And I've talked about that before. And so just reminder, because it's always, what are we trying to learn, what are we trying to do to grow or whatever. Peep game and act accordingly. And I'm not saying be salty, be rude, whatever, but be okay with people acting salty and whatever towards you, because that's kind of how I've had to approach certain situations lately or whatever. And it sucks, but it is what it is. But then I have like some of the, like 2 specific people, and these are just the 2 people that I talk to the most frequently, that are just like the most supportive people in my life right now, that I'm super grateful for. And it's like those 2 people almost make up for a lot of the people that I don't really talk to like that. There's not really anybody that I'm beefing with and I'm just like, oh, forget you, like for real. But it's just like life happens and we don't talk as much. So I'm just I'm learning to just kind of be super grateful with that. And then with that, let's go ahead and get into something I kind of wanted to do with this episode. Now, let me preface this because I talk a lot about my podcast, fam, and I always have somebody in the episode notes that I'm like, hey, why don't you listen to this podcast? It's somebody that I have actually listened to, and I'm like, hey, why don't you check them out? You might want to listen to them too. And I do that every week. I don't even tell people, I put them in my notes or whatever. It is what it is. But what I'm about to do is a little bit different because this isn't about me promoting their shows, though I am going to put links to their shows in the episode notes. But this is more so about me just showing love to the people who I really actually interact with a lot on Twitter. It's not in no particular order, but it's just, especially right now in a time when I can't go to church and a lot of stuff has to be video chatting and stuff like that, which that stuff is helpful and thank God for that technology. But I miss going to church. I miss doing youth ministry. I miss seeing more people at work. I miss just, and it ain't even I was really out here like that because I really kind of just went to work and church and home. But at the same time, I don't like that I can't do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And so Twitter, more so than Facebook, and I've been saying this, Twitter, way more interactive than Facebook. You know what I mean? And so these are the people that I interact with the most on Twitter, and I just really want to give them a shout out just because I appreciate them, because they've helped me to feel less lonely during a time when it's I'm the only adult in this house with my kids, and just right now, they up in their rooms. They're teenagers. They ain't trying to be up under their mom. They trying to be in their little group chat or whatever they be doing on TikTok or whatever. So, again, this is not in any particular order. It's just, I just made a list. So, BV, Not Perfect, Just Broke podcast. This woman is so funny. She complimented me on my podcast graphic, and it's still, I don't care what she says and what we're talking about, it always makes me laugh. I don't know why, but she just has, I don't even know if she's trying to be funny. I feel like she's not. She's just being herself, but she is so funny, and y'all know I love to laugh, so I want to give a shout out to her. But also her podcast, it actually has wisdom and insight and really makes you think too, in the midst of all her being funny or whatever. OG Mike and Brandon from Off the Record podcast, no shade to the other two, because Alex, which he has a Laker Central podcast, I'm gonna put them in the episode notes. Quan, he barely is ever on Twitter, but Mike and Brandon, that's who I talk to the most. They're the most active on Twitter, on their, on Off the Record. Like I said, Alex has the Laker Central podcast, and it's I interact with him too, but those two I interact with the most, so I appreciate the laughs and just y'all responding to my tweets or whatever. Jay from Jay's Quick 3, talk to her probably every day, to be honest, just about all kinds of stuff, just I don't know, responding to episodes or responding to whatever she tweets or I tweet or whatever. So I just really appreciate her. I be talking to her about the little Rona Bay application that I keep saying I'm gonna make, because it's really it's a selfish reason to try to want to talk to somebody or be in a relationship or whatever, but it's I don't know, if I'm honest, I just keep thinking at least that'd be another adult to interact with. You can't come over because you might got the Rona, so I'm talking texting, video chat, this whatever. We ain't even gotta talk after the quarantine is over, to be honest, because I don't know, but yeah, I keep joking and saying that or whatever. And then I'm going to lump these three together because I feel I don't even know what happened, how it got into this almost argue with them like they my sisters type thing, and just, I be keeping my same foolish energy and just, I don't know. So Autumn from Lit Life, Audrey from Aud Tales, and Chris from Shenanigans with Friends, like, super appreciate them, because I be just cutting up, just being silly and whatever, and they just kind of go along with whatever. And the cool thing about all these people is a lot of them have been podcasters longer than me. I feel like probably everybody I'm about to mention, I ain't done with my list yet, but they've just embraced me. Like I've said, I never really thought about a community aspect of podcasting. I just wanted to have a creative outlet. But like these people, it's not even about their shows, even though I do listen to their shows. It's not even about them listening to mine, even though they do listen to mine. But it's really just about, like, these is like my homies, you know what I mean? They having a smoke-free weekend. It's not a podcast event, but there are, like, podcasters are hosting it, and I don't even have a ton of information about it, so I might have to find something to put in the episode notes or whatever. But it's kind of like a meetup and a lot of podcasters is like, I want to go, meet people in real life or whatever, just because we have such cool rapport or whatever on Twitter. Then also Country Boy from the Cut podcast, Marcel from Diapers&Haircutz podcast, Fresco from the Podcast Brothers, which this dude be doing TikTok videos, but it be like, TikTok videos that I don't see everybody else doing. So I've told him, like, I appreciate you doing new TikTok videos that I could laugh at, but also it ain't like, oh God, here we go again. You know what I mean? Then Moms and Martinis podcast also. But then a non-podcast person for Brown Girl's blog, which I'm going to put the link to her blog in there, because she don't do a podcast, but she promotes podcasters. But beyond that, like I said, this ain't even about that. It's just, these is my homies that or I hope they feel the same way about me. That'd be funny if they didn't. But then that means y'all fake, because y'all really be all up on my tweets or whatever and talking to me and stuff. So I don't think that's what it is. But yeah, these are my homies or whatever. And if I forgot anyone, please know it's all love with me. You know, I support all podcasters, pretty much any creative person. Some people hop in my DMs and, that's just how Twitter is with networking, and I tweet your stuff and whatever. So please don't take it personally. These are literally the people that I most recently interacted with. I kind of had to go through my Twitter notifications trying to, like, gather everybody, because my memory is trash or whatever. But then also shout out to my little brother, Cedric, and I don't even usually put people's names out there like that, so it's whatever. But my little brother, he's 12 years younger than me, but he's always kind of been my favorite sibling, just because we're kind of similar and whatever. And I've been, like, FaceTiming him a lot lately, and I just have really I'm talking like multiple times a week, you know what I mean? And we was never on that like that before, but I really just appreciate how he's listened to me process my life, taking an interest. I mean, even having in-depth conversation with my daughter about, this whole mess with graduation or whatever. And so just definitely want to give a shout out to him, because it's just been helpful for me to, like, I need people. I like to talk to people. I like to, do all that. So I've appreciated that. Before I end, I got to end with encouragement, challenge. Ain't nothing changed with that. Still out here just trying to grow or whatever. So my first encouragement to you, and this is all because of what's going on right now, is first of all, like, breathe. You know what I mean? Like, every day, I know there's so many unknowns. I know some of y'all might be going through crazy challenges that I don't know about, that feel hopeless or feel frustrating or whatever. Take a deep breath, find at least one thing to be grateful for every day, every moment, whatever you got to do, because it's super helpful. But then also, don't be too hard on yourself. I be seeing these statuses that are saying like, because we have all this time, if you haven't done this, that, and the other, then you really weren't disciplined or whatever. I'm sorry. Have you ever been through a pandemic before? Like, I ain't never been through that, and I'm about to be 40 years old out here. And so how you going to tell somebody what they should be doing in the midst of unknowns, and maybe ain't got a job, or maybe their family member died because of, the Rona, or maybe they're sick, or maybe just how you gonna tell somebody what they should be doing in a situation like this? So my encouragement is, don't be hard on yourself. Do what you can, and that's all you can do, and just take it like literally one moment at a time. I hope y'all can't hear that noise. But anyways, and what is happening? Sorry, I'm in a different spot recording in the house, and so whatever. But then the next step is be kind. Like, whatever you can do to try to be kind to someone's situation, this is not the time for like laughter, joking, haha, whatever. That's funny, and I love all the little memes and whatever, because that's helpful. But like really being rude and mean to people, like, now is not the time for that. You know what I mean? Like, be kind. And then don't forget, when the dust settles on this, because I do see a lot of kindness, and I do see a lot of dope things happening that I'm like super proud of, how people are coming together as a people, because I hate, like I always say, how divided we are as a people at times. And I'm not talking about black people, I'm talking about people, like humanity. I hate how divided it is, because we all need each other, and we were created for relationship and all that. So I hate how divided it's been, and I love to see how unified we kind of are coming together, not just as a country, but really just as a world, because we're all going through the same crazy scenario, just a little different, you know what I mean? But don't forget, because when we get to the other side of this, don't forget all that, you know what I mean? Don't go back to business as usual, because business as usual might be what got us here. We don't really know. I ain't about to talk about conspiracies, whatever, because the reality is, even if this is a whole conspiracy, let's go there for a second since it came up in my brain. Even if it is, we ain't gonna get to the other side of this if y'all keep on just doing what y'all want to do. So stay home. You know what I'm saying? Wash your hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, follow the suggestions of whatever, because it's not going to change if we don't do what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Stop being selfish. I'm not saying don't get stuff for your family, but if you out here hoarding all this toilet paper and you the reason I can't get none in the stores, just stop it. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I'm mad because, my daughter, I can't see her graduate in May. Hopefully I can see her graduate in July. But at that point, it's kind of like you already had the little virtual graduation or whatever. And then on top of that, I've been talking about my 40th birthday since like all the episodes or whatever. And June 27th, holla at your girl. Cashapp is in the notes if you want to bless me. But if I cannot do anything for my birthday, I'm going to be mad, because that's literally the only day that I ever try to make about me. So let me circle back to the encouragement, because I went on a whole tangent. Breathe, do what you can, be kind, and don't forget when the dust settles. And hopefully y'all tune in and come, man, whatever. Hopefully y'all see y'all next week. Bye. So first things first, shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes. Now, like I say on social media, I want y'all to interact with me, so here's a few ways you can do that, and the links and whatnot to all these methods are in the episode notes as well. Now, you can leave me a voicemail. call 720-457-4022. You can email me. Hey, y'all can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and I'll follow you back. And then you can go ahead and slide in the DMs, just not on no weird stuff. You can also like the Facebook page, and the link on there goes to my email as well. Now, what I need y'all to do is pay attention on my socials for when I ask for feedback for the Thoughts to Ponder episodes that air every other Monday, because the reality is that y'all feedback is what makes those episodes dope. So, leave me a voicemail, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or email me. Just holla at your girl.